I've been a PC gamer for a good while now, about a year and a half I'd say, and I can say confidently that I've learned a lot from my experiences on this platform. The variety is the spice of life, console wars are idiotic, mods and emulation are the good Lord's gift to mankind, among other things. But I'd say the most important lesson I've learned from PC gaming is that exclusives are more of an annoyance nowadays than a valid reason for me to go out and buy a new system, and that exclusives are kinda outdated, at least the third-party ones. Allow me to explain. So, in the past, before internet services and fancy controller features existed, all consoles on the market did almost the exact same thing: play video games and nothing much else. So the console makers needed to give folks a reason to get their console specifically. That's how iconic game franchises like Super Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog came to be. These franchises grow to be their respective console and brand's identity. We call these first-party exclusives. Now there's nothing really wrong with first-party exclusives. I understand their existence and their overall purpose for the most part. What I do want to talk about now though is third-party exclusives. Now, third-party exclusives are games that are made by studios that aren't owned by a specific console maker, yet are still exclusive to a specific system, whether it be simply out of choice or because of some kind of exclusivity deal. This is where the main topic of this video comes in. To start, what's wrong with exclusives? Well, they're exclusive, and I can't play them. That's about it really. Now, before you just tell me to go shut up and buy a PS5, just listen to me for a minute and try to look at it from my perspective. So, there's this game that really needs a new trailer right about now called Stellar Blade. A lot of y'all probably first heard about this game at a PlayStation event back in 2021 when the game was codenamed Project Eve. But I've known about this game since late 2019, back when the only footage available for it was a teaser. Ever since the night I saw that teaser, the game had my attention and I was pretty excited for it. The game being said to go to all major platforms made it all the better too. I had a PC build planned for the future and I wanted to play it when it comes out at 1440p at like 100 FPS. But last year at another PlayStation event, that plan kinda got blown up in my face because it was announced that Sony stepped in and made the game a console exclusive, meaning that the only console the game's gonna release on is the PS5, and the PC version is gonna come out later down the line after the PS5 version comes out, and who knows how long that's gonna be. Alright, pause for me. So, hello there, Jay from the future here. So, I was just telling y'all about how Stellar Blade was previously going to most platforms until PlayStation swiped it up, and how a PC version is still gonna come out but after the PS5 version drops. Well, throw that last bit out the window because it was announced during the creation of this video that PlayStation has made a publishing deal with the creators of Stellar Blade, where this game and their future games are gonna be published by PlayStation, meaning that all their games from here on out are pretty much PlayStation first-party exclusives in everything but name, and the chances of a PC port coming are lower than they were before, and as usual, you have folks cheering for this, even though any console games Shift Up was gonna make were gonna be on PlayStation anyway, meaning that they're just happy other folks won't be able to get the games. So yeah, that happened. Please enjoy the rest of the video. Now, I've hated the concept of exclusivity ever since the day I learned it existed, but what happened with Stellar Blade was what really made me mad. The whole thing just confuses me. So I want to ask y'all, and this is me asking y'all as a fellow consumer and gamer, what benefits do exclusives truly give us, especially the third-party ones? I can't figure that one out. I understand why companies do it, and I'll get to them in a little bit, but I really just want to know what in the world do you as a gamer get out of other people not being able to play a game that you like? Listen, I personally believe gatekeeping has its place and its purpose. I've seen with my own two eyes how a game or an anime's fandom can get absolutely ruined once the wrong crowds on Twitter get a hold of it. But gatekeeping games from folks just because they didn't choose your favorite gaming system just doesn't make any sense. If anything, it just seems childish. Like, wow, I have these games that are exclusive to PC and you folks on console can't play them. What exactly do I get out of that? Why would I be happy that folks that want to play a game that I like or am excited for have to miss out on it because they chose the wrong $300 or $500 box? For example, HAAA, a VTuber fan game inspired by games like Vampire Survivors. It's pretty charming and a very well made game, especially for a free game. Heck, I say in some ways it's even better than Vampire Survivors, and the game's only available on PC. How do I get any benefit out of that fact? I know there's folks out there that like Vampire Survivors and also like VTubers, and the game is right up their alley, but they don't have a PC, so they're just out of luck. It'd be stupid for me not to want this game to go to other platforms if it can, let alone get mad if it actually does. Like, every time I see a tweet from PlayStation about one of their games going to PC, I see folks mad and disappointed about it, saying that Sony betrayed them or they devaluing their own console and brand and crap like that. Are y'all here to play video games and have fun, or to cheer for a brand? If you're only here for the latter, then gaming isn't the hobby for you. Look into sports if you want to spend all your time cheering for something. Cheering and pushing for a company to lock down a game to their platform doesn't make your experience on that platform better. It just makes everyone else's experiences on their platform of choice worse. Wow, PlayStation swiped up a game that was already going to the PS5 in the first place. Very cool. Very cool indeed. That totally benefits any of us. And speaking of brands and companies, I have some stuff to say and question about them too. First off, their logic doesn't make sense to me, especially with temporary exclusives. Business-wise, having a game be a permanent exclusive to your system makes sense in the long run, since if anybody ever wants to play said game, they'd have to buy your system. There's no trying to wait the exclusivity out because the game will forever be an exclusive. But that's not the case with temporary exclusives. To be honest, I have kind of mixed feelings towards this type of exclusive. On one hand, I'm happy they're not permanent exclusives, but on the other, I'm really annoyed at them because I had to wait for them when I really shouldn't have to. They think that delaying the game from coming to my platform of choice makes their system and brand look good and high quality since the game will be on their platform first. But personally, that's just not the case for me. Making me wait an extra year or two for a game I've been waiting for God knows how long ain't gonna make me want to buy your box. It's gonna make me hope your company goes out of business. And that's me putting that in a nice way because I really want to say something else, but I gotta keep in mind that my mother watches these videos. I've been wanting a remake of Persona 3 for years at this point, and if PlayStation would have taken the game and locked it behind the PS5, I would have never bought another PlayStation product ever again, no matter how much I like their controllers. And no, it's not just PlayStation. Xbox has done some even dumber things. A few years back, a demo for a game called Scarlet Nexus came out on all platforms, but not before being exclusive to Xbox for a week. Now you're probably thinking, Jay, that's not bad, it's just a week. And yeah, you're right, a week ain't that bad. But at the same time, why even pay to keep a demo of all things on your platform for any amount of time in the first place? It's a demo, and for just a week? It's not long enough to mean anything profits-wise to Xbox or Microsoft, but at the same time, it is long enough to annoy the crap out of anybody that was hyped for the game that doesn't have an Xbox. Like, just why even do something like that in the first place? I mean, I guess you can say that this is them trying to show their players in the gaming industry as a whole that they care about Japanese games and want more of them on their system, but there's better ways to do that, like not blocking an anime game that even Nintendo allows on their system, and doing what they're doing now with Persona 5 Tactica and Persona 3 Reload. Things like this are what makes me actually want to use your services and buy your product. Which brings me to the main thing I want all of you to think about when this video concludes. So, in the beginning of this video, I told y'all that first party exclusives were what gave people a reason to buy a specific system back during the first few generations of consoles. But now that we have other features and services that make each console stand out on their own, I think that exclusive games have started to run their course. It's my belief that today's consoles should sell themselves on what they provide hardware and feature wise and not on how many games they can lock down to their system. And it's not like it can't work. The Xbox Series consoles have services like Game Pass and has the best backwards compatibility of almost any console to ever exist. PlayStation has the DualSense's next-gen features like adaptive triggers and haptic feedback along with PSVR and all the extra games and features it brings. And Nintendo has portability and whatever else the next-gen Nintendo system's gonna have. This not only gives us more choice over where we want to play instead of being strong-armed to buy a specific platform to play a game that should be everywhere in the first place, but it also encourages more genuine competition between platforms outside of, hey, we threw money at this studio and now this game is only coming to our console, screw you. Like Xbox finally adding gyro to their controllers or PlayStation taking backwards compatibility seriously for once. I mean, yeah, it takes more effort to add more features and additions to your hardware, but in my opinion, it's a more efficient way to persuade folks to want to get your system. At least, it made me think about getting your system if I didn't already have a PC. But yeah, in conclusion, I'm just kinda ticked that Stellar Blade and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth ain't coming to PC day one. Now I gotta wait God knows how long to learn if the flower girl's gonna get turned into a human shish kebab this time without getting spoiled. Now, despite watching this video all the way up to this point, all of you might still be saying, Jay, just go buy a PS5 and you'll be alright. Listen to me. I have a PC that does things the PlayStation 7 won't be able to do. And I'm not about to spend $500 on a box with weaker hardware just to play like 3 games. It just ain't happening. Either bring the games I want to my platform or you won't get my money. If you like this video, give it a like and maybe subscribe if you want to hear more of me. Also, my Twitter's in the description. I wish you all a good day.